Hello and welcome to Illuminations with Tina and Fee. I'm Tina.
And I'm Fee.
We are continuing our discussion on beliefs. We've chosen not to have a guest this month because we just want to dive deeper into beliefs. We think there's lots and lots to say about it. Fee, I think we thought we'll kind of deep dive into two different areas today. Firstly, we'll look at a bit of cultural beliefs. And you're going to continue your example from business success and money. And we'll also look at health beliefs. I mentioned Bruce Lipton in the first episode, and I will talk a little bit about my allergies. But Fee, would you like to start and continue the thread of business success and money and how cultural beliefs kind of play into that?
Yes, so I was sharing in the last episode around my challenge of a cultural belief that Brené Brown does it beautifully, not to get too big for your britches. Mm-hmm. And it's interesting because all in my whole work life, I've always been very quiet about what I do, my success, mainly about the impact of the work I've done, which has been quite multifold in many ways. I've dedicated myself to serving quite immensely, and it's the too big for your britches that's what was biting me up the bum a bit when I was building the business, because I think I realised that my mission is so big that I know that the ball is starting to roll and gather the momentum, that it will, what I want is to disrupt mental health services, and I kind of know it's going to happen. So along with that will come, maybe success in a way that for an introverted personality might be more challenging. But for my family, it fits into that cultural, don't get too big for your britches. It's okay to work hard and get enough, but any bigger than that isn't okay. So I obviously had this belief that was a limiting belief. And I was just thinking, since we last spoke, that what's interesting about limiting beliefs is that they drive fear. They drive our fears. So when I read that, it immediately connected in about the whole thing I had about money last year. And I've mentioned it before, which has now calmed because I've worked through a lot of that, those beliefs. But maybe that fear of being too big for my britches, that belief was also connecting into the whole money thing and, the issue around money, because it's all linked to success, so very complicated in many ways, but unpicking it and working through it definitely helped. And then if you think about it, the empowering belief is more around, is trusting and believing, literally, that I'm here to disrupt. That's always been part of what I've done. It's part of my personality, and I don't do it in an anarchy way. I do it by getting into the system and maneuvering around in the system. And so if I just can have that belief, which I've worked on, that's okay. It's okay, that means I will write books that will challenge, I will have conversations that will challenge. I will, but the outcome is that many will maybe even gain from this. So therefore that outweighs that limiting belief, that fear. And empowering beliefs can encourage faith and hope and optimism. And that's genuinely what I now feel. I feel it inside. My whole chest is lighter and open when I think about my business. When I do what I love and love what I do, it's changed. So changing that belief, or first of all becoming aware of it, which took me a couple of years to suss out, then to kind of work with it, as you said, rumbling with that, getting to know it, how does it play out in my world? What does it look like? And then, using ideas like, okay, so if I was someone who believed that they deserved to have a successful business, how would I get out of bed? How would I meet people? How would I network? What language would I use? Watching language is so important, and we've teetered about on that, but not emphasized it enough. Watching what comes out of your mouth, is that empowering you or limiting you? So watching that language that we asked you to notice last time. So but cultural beliefs are quite deep, and they're the ones that often, for me, there's belief. It was quite hard to come to terms with, because it feels slightly disloyal as well, because I love my family dearly, and I'm very proud of my culture and my background, very, as you know. And it's just, it's not about it being disloyal. I can still love it all. There are just these other sides to it that can be perpetuated.
So I guess, because I know you a fair bit, and I can tell the viewers, and I that this is might be a little bit difficult. So let's see here. I knew you for a couple of years, and then suddenly it was like, sorry, you got a master's degree in what? Okay. Oh, what sorry, you got 2 master's degrees. And you worked in the educational system as what? It was like, you really, really held back. It was like, I'm not gonna, toot my own horn in your world. And in my world, it wouldn't have been that. It would have been like, wow, isn't that amazing that you've done all that? I hope you don't mind me mentioning that.
I'm cringing a bit, but
I can imagine. Well, we can talk about it if we delete this.
No, we don't delete anything. No, it's true. And it's coming. And actually, part of me in the past would have really been cross with you for doing that, really cross. And I'd have said to you, that's not appropriate. But part of me is now able to sit with that, and accept that I got that because I did, I worked hard, but it's not about just working hard. It's about obviously opportunity, connection. I mastered skills. Yeah. So it's slowly shifting. I'm not as angry or cross as I maybe would have done, just slightly uncomfortable, but that's okay,
And I think it's also something that can enrich other people's lives. Like, when people know about, oh, wow, I can ask Fee about this, or, so it's not, so there's, different ways of looking at that information and actually sharing that information. So, yeah, I knew it was going to press some buttons, but I thought it was important within the story that, you've held those things very close to your chest.
Well, I had a partner who really loved me for that humbleness, words by partner. And so it kind of added to that, but it's slowly shifting. I mean, it's when it's appropriate to share. You're right. I mean, I know because you helped me put my website together, and I think I got you to write my bio in the end because it just felt so uncomfortable. But that's shifting. You're right. But that is part of that. Don't be too big for your britches, definitely, and letting go of that and you're right, celebrating what I've achieved slowly. Slowly.
And I think also, one of these things that the viewers might kind of pay attention to is that if you're in a situation like me and Fee in a conversation, maybe not on YouTube, but somebody says, oh, but you've got master's degrees or something, and if you notice yourself getting angry, somebody saying that, that tells you something.
Yes, definitely. Definitely.
Exactly. Oh, interesting. Okay, so curiosity and humor.
Yeah.
What's going on?
Yeah.
Because this is not about what the other person has actually
done. No. And when it gets to be detrimental, so I'm not saying it, I'm actively not saying it when it's an occasion to talk about it, what I've studied and what I've researched. You're right. That's madness. Why would you not contribute something that might really enlighten the conversation? Absolutely. So you're right.
And certainly in a place like your website where people will go and they will want to know
They
Oh,
will.
is this the coach for me? What has she
Yeah.
done before? Oh, wow, she's, you know,
Mm.
you know, then it's like, what's going on? What's going on? And I had one more question for you. So there's this cultural belief, don't get too big for your bridges. So if you do get too big for your bridges, what is the fear that's going to happen then?
Rejection.
Rejection.
Yeah,
from
definitely.
From the clan, so to speak.
From the clan, you know, that I'll be talked about, discussed. You know, I stay quite low. I didn't for a while, but that was for other behaviours. But anyway, that's another story. But you know, I've stayed quite low around my successes like that. You know, so that is the fear. Criticism maybe, but mainly rejection, which I've worked through and is crazy because my family love me, you know, and have accepted me being in all crazy situations and still love me. So why wouldn't they love me because I produced a book, or, you know, I'm challenging policy around mental health? Of course they'd love me. So that's the fear. Totally irrational.
Oh, Fee.
We're actually getting near end of time.
I know, but I had the best, well, not the best because they're pretty good, all of them, but a note from the universe, Mike Dooley.
Yes.
And it just fits into this. Can I read it? I know, you know, we were supposed to do something.
Yes.
Is that okay? Yeah?
Yes.
Okay, so I'll read it. Okay. When you play a game with family and friends, Tina, I could put Fee in here now, like hide and seek, Twister, or even Monopoly, do you lose sleep the night before? Do you worry that people will think what people will think of your performance? Do you wonder how your past or your child years might influence your moves? Do you replay each turn in your mind the day after? No, because it's just for fun. You understand that no matter what happens, nothing about it can detract from who you are. That while you might not win, you'll be richer and wiser for the time spent thinking and calculating and sharing with friends. You might even relish the refinement and development of your skills. Besides, in games you have nothing to prove. Everyone you play with already loves you.
Yeah, that's very true.
Yeah. I just thought it was so beautiful today. It's like,
yeah,
it's just a game.
Actually, it's true. And when I attach to intention of when I see my family, that's when it starts to change for me, you know, as well. So I would suggest that we now maybe put your health into as a nugget. We can talk about that, you and me, because I do think it's a really interesting one, very interesting one, and a little bit controversial, so it's worth throwing in there. So yes, so thank you, Tina, for your questions and nudging me around in exploring a cultural influence around belief.
Yes.
I think we've come to the end. So if anybody would like to subscribe, please do. And if you'd like to comment or share with anybody, then please do. Thank you.
Okay. See you next time.
See you next time, Tina.
Bye.
Bye now.